Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmasters club for leadership development. We are one of the top five clubs globally. I am Shanicia Belmi, your Sergeant at Arms for our meeting today. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better, self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer today has a virtual hand raised, so we all can immediately see who is keeping the time. Our Toastmaster of the day, who will lead our meeting, is Nicole Whyte. Nicole has been a Toastmaster for the past 5 years. She's an entrepreneur, educator, and human resources personnel who is passionate about talent management. She is an avid learner who is fueled by a lifelong learning mindset. Nicole believes in bringing a practical, empathetic, and people-centered approach to the value she gives to others. Please help me welcome our Toastmaster of the Day, Nicole Whyte, towards the virtual floor.
Thank you, Sergeant of Arms Shanicia, joining us from the beautiful island of Grenada. Greetings, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Leadership Speak meeting. Today's theme is self-disciplined leadership, and you will see throughout this meeting how we exhibit this. Everything we do here is centered around leadership and self-discipline, which is the theme for this meeting, and you will see how we exemplify this. And I will give some more details as we go along. But before I do, we have some very important people in this meeting. Yes, I am referring to our exceptional, distinguished guest. You are the most important person here today. And I know I've interacted with a few of you earlier, so we do have some. It is your first time. And so for some of you, you are returning guests. Irene will post the link for our guest book, and I implore you, please fill it out, complete it. It doesn't take too long, and we'll definitely connect with you at the end of our meeting. The link is in the chat box right now. I'm confirming. There it is. Thank you so much, Irene. And if you could just complete that, that would be great. We'll get to know a little bit about you. And of course, if you have any question, we'll be happy to share with you so you can learn some more about us. Now, coming back to the theme of our meeting. What did I say the theme is? Please type it in the chat. It's early for some, late for some. Let me see if you're alert. So the theme for today is self-disciplined leadership. Great. Thank you, Vinod. Thank you, Atul. All right, there we go. Alert. All right. As of today, Toastmasters International has 14,000 clubs in 150 countries, with members exceeding 270,000. From this number, our club, Leadership Speak, is among the top 5 clubs globally in terms of educational awards, and has been the #1 club in District 86 for 2 consecutive years. Please let that sink in. I officially became a member of this premier community on January 15th of this year. I still remember my first visit, just like some of you right now. What I witnessed was pure quality. I had my wow moments. My intrigue grew as I was captivated by the execution of a well-run meeting. Fast forward to today. I am on the inside, a part of the big picture, witnessing and contributing to extraordinariness. I can confidently share with you that our accomplishments are achieved in one simple way, one. That's through self-disciplined leadership. Stephen R. Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, stated, "The undisciplined are slaves to moods, appetites, and passions." What Covey is saying here is powerful. Without self-discipline, we end up being controlled by whatever we feel in the moment. And leadership can't work like that. A self-disciplined leader doesn't lead based on mood or impulse. They lead based on values, principles, and purpose. That kind of consistency builds trust. It builds credibility, and it sets a standard for others to follow. Without self-discipline, we are in the mercy of every passing mood. When leaders' tone, priorities, or decisions swing on a whim, it erodes. Trust, accountability collapses, culture is fractured, goals are shoved aside by impulses, and your team loses confidence in you. A part of the definition of self-discipline is the ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. Self-discipline is a mindset we practice here at Leadership Speak, and it configures how our impact is felt. We don't dodge challenges, we embrace them. We do not find excuses, we find solutions. We do not operate haphazardly. We execute based on order. We have a set of standard operation procedures, SOPs. They are in full effect. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, my charge to each of you is, as we move through today's meeting, ask yourself, where in my journey can I be more disciplined? Where can I choose consistency over comfort and commitment over convenience? Here at Leadership Speak, self-discipline isn't just a theme, it's deeply embedded in who we are. And when we lead with this kind of intention, we don't just elevate ourselves, we elevate and build as a team. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today you will hear the educational speaker speaking about how self-discipline is the pinnacle of successful leadership and what it means to him. Why am I highlighting this particular speaker? It is because every Toastmaster of the day and the educational speaker work together. We collaborate and create a theme. I will speak about the theme briefly. I spoke about the theme briefly, and you will hear it resonate as we go on throughout the meeting. But Alfin will elaborate this educational speech for all members every week. It's between 20 minutes or sometime even more. And you will hear more what it really means to him. So let me introduce some of our role players. Our first speaker is Nelly Aliola. Zoom Master, can you please spotlight Nelly? Hello, Nelly. Joining us from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm right?
You're right.
Exactly. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Happy to hear that. So over to you, Nelly.
Self-discipline is a cornerstone of all great leaders in the world. You cannot achieve anything without having self-discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story about how self-discipline has helped me in my leadership journey. In 2018, an opportunity came about for me to be a lady captain in my golf club. At that particular time, I was pursuing a DTM project in the Legacy Toastmasters program. I was between a hard place and a rock. I decided to choose to take over the lady captainship. This was a one-time opportunity that I had looked forward to doing. So I sacrificed my DTM journey in the legacy program to take up a year of lady captaincy in my golf club. Self-discipline helped me achieve this. I used this position I used my lady captainship as a high-performance leadership project for Toastmasters. So I did not lose out in any way. I just chose to take another path. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, self-leadership, self-discipline helped me to focus on my goal to ultimately achieve the thing that I had aspired for in life. John Rohn says that self-discipline is the foundation of all success. Without self-discipline, you will result to failure. Ladies and gentlemen, back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you,
Here is to
Nelly, but yes, you could go ahead and wrap up. I think you meant to wrap up.
please unmute your audios and raise our glasses. Here is to self-discipline.
Here's to self-discipline.
Self-discipline.
Here's to self-discipline.
Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nelly, for raising that toast. And now I have more reasons to come and visit you in Nairobi because I need to learn golf. And thank you. We are happy that, as you shared, self-discipline helped you to focus on your goal and you have achieved them and on your way to achieve more. Moving on to our other distinguished roles for today, I would like to call on our timer. Zoom Master, please spotlight Miko. Thank you so much. Zoom Master is just moving fast on the ball. Great. Miko, you are joining us from Bangladesh. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Go ahead.
Good day, fellow Toastmasters. I am Toastmaster Miko. I'll play as the timer for today. I shall time each role player according to the times on the agenda. After each session, I shall post them in the chat box. Just a glimpse of how I will do my role. I'll be showing now green card, like changing my background, then to yellow and red when the time is over. And I'll post all the results after each session. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Over to you.
Thank you, Miko. We'll definitely be mindful of our time as we are self-disciplined leaders. Please, I would love to move on to call our next distinguished role player, our lovely Imini. Thank you. All right. How are you, Imini?
Hello, Madam Toastmaster. I'm fine, thank you.
Great. How is Greece? Joining us all the way from Greece.
Yes, it's fine. It's becoming spring, and in Athens we have all those orange trees around, so you can smell the spring coming, which is great.
And I love spring. All right, go ahead and describe your role for us today.
Yes, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language uses. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. You may have already seen it. For today's meeting, the word is consistent, which means always behaving or happening in a similar, especially positive way. An example of using the word is her work is sometimes good, but the problem is she's not consistent. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting, and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you, our grammarian Irene. I think you had some challenges, so we weren't able to see the word of the day in your background. However, we have heard it. It's consistent, and you use it in a sentence. Yes, we believe that consistent self-discipline is the foundation of impactful leadership. All right, dear guests, how are you feeling? Have you filled in the guest book already? I'm sure you have warmed up, and I'll just like to do a quick check-in. There you go. Irene is on the ball. There is the link in the chat. Please go ahead and complete it. Quick, just a few questions, and we'll be happy to connect with you later. Thank you. Thank you, Irene. I'm moving on to our education speaker, Alfin Abrar. Mr. Zoom Master, thank you. Spotlight, Alfin. And Alfin, how are you today? Joining us from Indonesia.
Yeah, hi, Nicole. I'm very good. How are you, Nicole?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Great. Let me call on your evaluator, Vinod Panicker. Zoom Master, please spotlight. Thank you. Hello,
Hi.
Vinod. How is Dubai
Hi,
today?
Nicole. Dubai is amazing, getting a little bit warmer, 40 degrees.
Oh gosh. Okay. I don't mind the warmth. I'll do it well with some right now in Canada. I'm in cold Canada. It's getting better, but yes. All right, great. You may go ahead and let us know what you will be doing for Alfin today.
Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Our speaker, Toastmaster Alfin, is going to present his speech from the path Motivational Strategy, Level 5 elective project, Prepare to Speak Professionally. And the purpose of the project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. The purpose of the speech is to build the skills necessary to engage an audience for an extended period of time. The timing would be 18 to 22 minutes, and the speaker has requested to focus more on storytelling. So if the audience would like to give feedback, please keep that in mind. Thank you very much, and back to you.
Thank you, Vinod. Great. Alfin and I collaborated and came up with the team, and he's very excited to share his perspective and experience about his topic. Please be aware, if you haven't noticed, every leadership meeting has an educational speaker who will speak for 20 minutes or thereabout. So ladies and gentlemen, Alfin Abrar, self-directed leadership. Self-directed leadership, Alfin Abrar.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and self-disciplined leaders. Have you ever feel being bullied because of you are not capable of doing skills that is popularly done by other people? I experienced that a lot throughout my life today. But you know what? Self-discipline has led me to master all the skills that bully me throughout my journey. In this speech today, I will share you how self-discipline make me master the skill that give me a pain, and not only that, I can become coach on that particular skill. My name is Alfin. I'm a professional badminton player. I'm a science teacher and also a district leader in District 87. Self-discipline leadership, I learned it since junior high schools. I remember that time, my father registered me to a badminton club. I had never have any skill for badminton. So, obviously, in the club, I become the dumbest kid. Nobody wants to play with me. I was abandoned. And the coach always paired me with someone that was way younger, way smaller than me. At the time, my coach assigned me Owen as my opponent. Owen is 3 years younger and way shorter than me. I felt disrespected to be paired with him as opponent. But even that, so I was beaten by Owen very, very bad. I felt so bad. And this pain encouraged me to ask to Owen's parents. His name is Mr. Anis. Mr. Anis, how to become a better player? I want to become better. And Mr. Anis said, Alfin, do a jogging. Be disciplined, do it once every week. I asked about badminton. Why did he ask me to jogging? I didn't understand. But because Mr. Anis is the father of Owen, also a badminton player, I had no choice but to trust him. I said 1 day every week to run a jogging in 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the sun above my head. And the result is, after several weeks, several months, my endurance become longer. And because of that, I can exercise more. I can practice more. And because of that, I can be better at badminton. And then one day, there had a competition in our club to determine who is the best player in that club. I compete, and surprisingly, I become the winner of that competition. Everyone shocked. Mr. Anis shocked. I didn't shock because I apply my self-discipline every week for several months. So that is the result of self-discipline. Not stopping there, I now become a coach of badminton. I coach students to be better at badminton. And my first advice to those who start playing badminton, do a jogging routinely once in a week. You will be stronger, longer endurance. So that's how you can exercise more. Pain, master the pain. With self-discipline, I later become a coach. That is my story in junior high school. Moving on, in senior high school, again, the actor is my father. He forced me to join the best school, the best senior high school in Indonesia. And I was lucky to be accepted in that school. Obviously, between all top students in Indonesia, I was the bottom in the class. 30th of 30. Same thing happened again. I was alone, no one to be friend with me. Everyone is abandoned me. Even teacher abandoned me. No one wanted to talk to me. So much depression at the time. It gives me another courage to ask yoga. Yoga is the smartest student in the class. I was the first rank, and this gives me a confidence to ask him how to be better at study. Yoga, how to be better at physics. And Yoga answered, Alfin, just open the book, find the exercises, and do all of them. Again, repeat it again until you memorize it. Yoga is the smartest student. I can just follow him. Then I did what he said. In my first year of senior high school, I complete the first year of the school, the first book. I finished the book for the first year. All the exercise, I did it. And then I continue to the book for the second year. I finish it as well. And then I continue for the book for the third year student. I memorized all of the problems and solution for physics. In my second year in senior high schools, ladies and gentlemen, I have the audacity to register to physics Olympiad at that time. On the D-Day, there are 9 problems and I can solve 8 of 9 problems. 1 week later, announcement coming. I was taking a bath in the dormitory, in the bathroom, and someone knocked on the door. Alfin, Alfin, you are the winner. I know it. What a feeling at the time. And yes, it is real. I was called in the ceremony and called as the best achiever in physics competition. I later on continue to physics Olympiad. It's just because consistency on answering the problems and memorize the solution every day. Because of that, I can handle every kind of problem in physics because I know where to go as a reference. I have it in my memory. Again, it doesn't stop there. After I went to university, you know, my father is very stingy. It is so hard asking him for allowance. As my ability to understand physics, I found a way how to generate money because of my capability of mastering physics. I saw announcements in my university looking for a private teacher. I applied for that. I teach every day in every week, and I can have a lot of money that can pay my tuition fee, my allowance, and I still have a lot of money to buy things that I want. Again, a pain in physics, bullet from physics, forced me to learn about physics and doing problems and solution exercise every single day until I master it. And finally, I become the coach of physics. Ladies and gentlemen, now experiencing that in my journey as an adult, I encounter another problem, which is leadership. I didn't have leadership. I couldn't decide what to eat at lunch, let alone to lead a family, to become a husband. And because of that, I joined Toastmasters Club to enhance my leadership. I joined my home club as CBD Toastmasters Club, one of the best clubs in Indonesia with the highest membership in our district at that time. I wish I can learn amazing tips to become a perfect leader in that club. And then after I joined the education committee with Dentia at the time as the VPE, there is nothing special. We conducted meeting every week And there is some procedure that until Wednesday, we have to complete all the role takers, a contingency plan. If we don't have a full roster for Wednesday, we can reach for another club. Just as simple as that, but we can lead our club to become President Distinguished Club at that time. Very simple. Just make sure all the roles complete at Wednesday, and then do the meeting every day, every Friday, and all of a sudden, the club become President Distinguished Club. And with this knowledge, I encourage myself another audacity to go on as Vice President of Education. And this time, I become the coach, and I coach my team to apply the same rules. Again, it was very simple. Just complete this procedure. We become another President Distinguished Club again. On the following year, I become club president. I coach all those VPs for membership, VP public relations. We have tight procedure, and we just follow it. It's just a very simple. What to do before the meeting, what to do during the meeting, what to do after the meeting. Very simple. Everybody knows, even we share it to everyone in our district. Yet that is the key to become successful, is to become self-disciplined. Last year, I became division director, and I become in charge of chartering 3 clubs in Indonesia. Gunung Sewu Kencana Toastmaster Club, Airnav Toastmaster Club, and Caterpillar Indonesia Batam Toastmaster Club is all my role as club mentor or club sponsor in that club. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, self-disciplined leader. In my journey, I learned that there's no secret to become successful. We just need to become disciplined. In my junior high school, I was bullied because I didn't know how to play badminton. And then I do a disciplined things, running every week in the afternoon when the sun above my head every week. And later on, I become the winner, and even I become the coach of badminton. Moving on to senior high school, I still bullied because I didn't know how to learn physics. I do another discipline things, that answering problem and solutions in the book of physics every single day. And just in 1 year, I become the winner of Physics Olympiad, and that generates me money in university when I need the most to pay my tuition and my allowance. In my adult life, when leadership I needed to learn, Toastmasters give me the solution, but it is not a secret. I do discipline things, what to prepare before the meeting, what to do during the meeting, what to do after the meeting, and do it every single time. And you will be success. For me, discipline is doing things when I like it or I don't like it. I have to do it. Fellow Toastmasters, a quote from Warren Buffett that said, "We don't need to become smarter than others. What we need is just to become more disciplined than others. You will be capable to do all the things." What is your dream? You can write in a piece of paper, and next to it, write the mission. What will you do? Daily, weekly, monthly. and sooner or later, you will achieve it. In leadership as well, become a self-disciplined leader, it will be easier for you to lead your team. Because I see self-disciplined leader is another style of leadership, which is leading by example. If I follow rules, then my team will follow the rules that I made, without telling them. One perfect example of leader that just showing discipline to his team. If you know Carlos Tevez from Argentina, he was the captain for Manchester City, a football club in Argentina. I'm sorry, the football club in England. Carlos Tevez did not speak English at all. But he showed to his teammate, he always calm, he always show dedication, he always do the hard work, and his team following him. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, self-disciplined leader. With discipline, you can do all the things. If you feel the pain because the failure to achieve things, make a plan what to do it consistently, even you like it or not, and by times go by, you will achieve it and you will be success. There is no secret to become successful. If your success is to become healthy, what you need to do is to do jogging 30 minutes every day. Seems very easy, but it is hard to do. You need to do it every day, even you like it or not. Fellow Toastmasters, self-discipline has led me to many skills that supposed to bully me during my time when I was younger. Now I want you to put discipline as one of your style, so you can achieve everything that you want and we become successful together. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope all of us can apply discipline to our leadership, so we are not just become a leader that succeeds alone. We can bring everyone around us together to go to success. Back to you, Toastmaster of the meeting, Nicole.
Thank you, Alfin. What a charge. You have shared so much and we are charged. You gave us a challenge and we are definitely will be taking that up. So we have a professional badminton player with us. Another reason why I should visit Indonesia so I can learn as well. Thank you so much. And you said 2 salient points: plan and consistency and planning. Excellent. Impactful message. All right. I'm just going to be moving on by calling on our first prepared speaker, which is Guerdah Felix. Thank you, Mr. Zoom Master. Hello, how are you, my fellow Canadian?
Hello, Nicole.
Cold for you? Or is it nice?
I don't know yet. I have not been outside.
Okay, great. All right. Okay. Well, continue enjoying inside then, because I think it's a little bit cold out there. All right, good to have you, and we're looking forward to hear from you. I would love to call on Guerdah's evaluator, Sandra Vox. the lady with the backbone.
Thank you.
How are you?
It's a consistent background backbone. That's funny.
No, I said backbone. Backbone.
Backbone, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it came out wrong when it came out. No, I'm not always in control of my mouth. A little self-discipline there would help.
Here and there, of course, absolutely. So tell us what we will doing for us today for Guerdah.
I am hoping to be consistent in my evaluations that they are useful. And I don't know anyone who could be more consistent than Guerdah with her own self-discipline. She is speaking today from Persuasive Influence 1, Project 3, which is the vocal variety and body language. And she's going to use them all. And particularly, we're watching today for her personal energy. Let me see you go, Guerdah, Guerdah. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. Guerdah's thought on the theme had me smiling. She says, from disliking to liking, it takes consistency. She was ahead of the game with the word of the day, or for so much. Guerdah, Felix, excel. Excel, Guerdah, Felix. The virtual lectern is yours.
Some years ago, as we were preparing for a joint area contest, two of my friends were singing to me the benefits of Excel. Guerdah, why don't you use Excel to prepare your contest? You can do so many things. You can color, you can add, you can subtract, and you could even use formulas. And the other one said to me, Guerdah, there is so much you can do in Excel. I love it. We use it at the hospital. Ooh, Excel. As I was observing them, I could see their body expanding as they were telling me the joys of Excel. And I felt my body contracting as I was listening to them. Because to me, Excel meant confinement, restrictive, numbers. And I am not a numbers person. Now, fast forward 2 months ago, another friend of mine sent me via text a posting. And she said, Guerdah, hey friend, I just sent you a posting that just landed on my desk. Would you like me to send your resume? I went to my email. I checked the posting. And as I was reading it, I could feel my body being excited as I was reading the roles and responsibilities of that role. Until I read they needed Excel, as in you need to be proficient in Excel, as in you need to have strong spreadsheet capabilities. None of that I had. And I felt my body contracting. So I took my cell phone and I texted my friend, sure, you can send my resume. On March 10th, on April 7th, on April 7th, I started to work there. But before When I sent that text to my friend, 15 minutes later, I was in conversation with the head human resource. He asked me to send him everything that I have done in my life in an updated resume. Everything I have done in my life, everything you've done in your life. I sent it to him. Then he scheduled an interview for me and the supervisor of that department. That was a beautiful interview. Then a week later, I was scheduled another interview with the director, the supervisor, and the lady that I was going to replace. Dr. Bertis Berry said, when you walk in purpose, you collide with destiny. And I can feel that in that interview, because that interview was nothing short of miraculous. They were telling me who I was. They were sharing with me what I had done as they were reading my resume and how my vast experience would be beneficial to that position. You worked at Burger King as a manager for 10 years? Wow! You worked in accounts receivable, accounts payable, and credit department? Wow! They were mirroring this back to me because all I was thinking was, I am not good at Excel. After that interview, a week later, I was offered that position. Yes! But my heart kept doing boom, 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 boom. Why? Because Excel was still not my forte. So how was I going to be best and better and best in my position? So on March 10th, I started my training with the lady that I was going to replace. Ooh, that was so beautiful. You know, Viola Davis said, your purpose is not what you do. It is what happens to people when you do what you do. And I experienced exactly that because Julie, she was consistent in her pouring into me. And I was consistent in practicing what she was teaching me. She changed me from a woman who used to roll her eyes at the mere thought of Excel to someone who could see how she's going to use Excel in order to turn her life around, her financial life around. She gave me hope. And that's what made it very different for me. I am very glad to say that this week, on April 7th, I started working on my own, and everyone reached out to me, from coworkers, from supervisors, to directors. Everyone wanted to make sure that I had everything I needed because all of them want me to excel in my new position. I felt supported because I know without a doubt that everything I have done before has led me exactly to where I am today. I will continue to excel as I am being on purpose. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Guerdah. Wow, I'm happy that you were consistent with the changes someone encouraged you to incorporate, and look at you today. Very good. I love that quote where you said, when you walk in purpose, you collide in destiny. I noticed Sasha didn't even put it in the chat. So thank you so much. All right. I'm calling on our next speaker, who is Marie Cusin. Marie, where are you?
I'm here.
Okay, we're just waiting on Zoom Master. Thank you. Thank you, Zoom Master. How are you today from Switzerland?
Yes. Well, thank you.
You are
How
doing
about-
well. That's very good. I found out a fun fact about your country, that you have a unique flag, right? It's the only flag in the world that has that is square.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, my country of Jamaica, our flag is unique too, but we'll talk about that. And next time, I'm happy to call on your evaluator, which is Elena. Elena Constantinou.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Elena. How are you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and dear Marie Cusin, who's on a path of motivational strategies. She will be presenting her level 1 speech, evaluation and feedback. And this is her first speech. So she hopes to incorporate the feedback she receives today into her next speech. Marie has asked me to take special note of her body language, vocal variety, as well as her breathing, which is very interesting. And let me check, this is a word I don't know. Elocution. Elocution is the, I guess eloquence also is related. So, and Toastmaster will say the title. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elena. Marie believes self-discipline shapes effective leaders. When she shared her thought about the team, it drives consistent action and builds the foundation for long-term success. Excellent. The virtual lectern is here, Marie.
Thank you.
Oh, before I go, that's the title of the Marie's speech. I'm ahead of my brain is going ahead. The self-discipline of leadership through Speedsoft. Marie Cusin, the self-discipline of leadership. The virtual lectern is yours for the second time.
Have you ever heard of Speedsoft? No? Then picture this. A sport where every second can change the game. A sport where strategy, speed, and team spirit collide in a rush of adrenaline. But it's just more than just a game. It's a leadership lesson, a mirror for anyone leading a family, a team, or a project with vision. Today, I am taking onto that field, virtual helmet on, not to shoot pellets, but to share 3 key lessons on values, needs, and individual worths. Lesson 1, know your values. In Speedsoft, the best players aren't the ones who charge in blindly. They are the ones who know why they're there, what they want to do, and more importantly, what they won't do. In the same in leadership, you have to know how how to say no, to stay aligned, to make the right call, even when the pressure's on. Clarity is the fuel of self-discipline. When you are aligned, there is no need to force it. You just act naturally. Lesson 2. Speak your needs. On the field, if you want cover, you have to say so. Want to move forward? Need info? Need backup? Speak up. It's no different in business. Too many leaders burn out in silence. They think asking for help is a weakness, but it's not. It's strategy. It's how you can create team play. And that's what self-discipline is about. Having the courage to express what you need so the whole team can win. Lesson 3. Recognize the value of each person. In the heat of action, every player matters. The one who scoots, the one who defends, the one who pushes forwards. Without them, you don't win. And in real life, same thing. No one succeeds alone. No one succeeds alone. A true leader, a self-disciplined one, creates a space where everyone can bring their best. And when people like their contribution counts, they commit, they grow, and most importantly, they enjoy it. Here's what I want you to take away today. If you're clear on what truly matters to you, if you can find the lesson in every situation, and if you choose to bring joy into all that you do, then you will become consistent and climb into the steps to success. It's a virtuous cycle, one that lifts you higher, and in doing so, lifts up everyone you lead. So leaders of a family or business or simply the player in your own life, are you ready to step onto the field? Because the game starts now. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Marie. Excellent. Yes, I am ready to step on the field. I feel like I'm on the field already. Thank you so much. Moving on to our third speaker of this meeting. Happy to introduce Holmes Teng. Kindly.
Hello, Nicole.
Hello from Singapore, right?
Yes.
Excellent. And I call your evaluator, Hannah. Where is our lovely Hannah? Thank you, Hannah Schmidt. Please go ahead and tell us what Holmes will be doing today.
Certainly, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Holmes is going to speak from Visionary Communication. Level 4, Project 5, Understanding Your Leadership Style. And the purpose of this project is for the member to identify their primary leadership style or styles. And for the speech is for the member to share some aspects of their primary leadership style and discuss leadership styles in general. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Holmes believes that leaders are like conductors and collaboration and self-discipline are paramount to success. That's his thoughts, his ideas towards our theme for today. Title of Holmes' speech is Conduct Your Masterpiece. Holmes Teng, conduct your masterpiece. The virtual lectern is yours.
Members and guests, you're here in Leadership Speak. You must be a leader or becoming one. And leadership, it's like being a conductor. Imagine now that we are all audience watching a world-class orchestra playing. You would notice that the conductor acts slightly differently to different teams. The drums may be a bit more excited. Tung, tung, tung. The strings, the voices, may be more of a melody feel. And this is how I urge all of us here to be as leaders. As a project manager myself, I deal with a wide range of stakeholders that have different personalities, different working styles, and different values that they bring to the workplace. And today, my emphasis is that when we deal with different people, we can choose the most appropriate style to handle them and to work well in collaboration with them. In this project of understanding my leadership style, based on my questionnaire, perhaps not so surprising, out of the 8 leadership styles, I have 4 styles of equal rank 1, 2 styles of equal rank 2, and a 3rd and a 4th, which reflects how I need to jump between styles in dealing with my stakeholders. Today, I'll briefly touch on 3. The first one is my personal favorite, coaching leadership style. This is like we work one-on-one with a particular person, trying to bring out the most beautiful moments of the person in a song. With a colleague, which is my peer, I ask him, have you considered, rather than maintaining the status quo and ensuring that the business can go on, why not work with the same amount of resources or less to produce a lot more? Imagine that your team takes on new skills and capabilities to take the results to greater heights. The conversation lasted about an hour of such questions. And from there, he was able to better visualize the success of his team. And that works in my favor because he is one of the users of my product. However, it's not at all times that I can engage in such conversation to bring out the most beautiful melody of a person. Sometimes it's just about alignment. The second style of my preference is affiliative style. In larger meetings, I often encounter people who seems to just disagree with a certain plan. In such cases, what I do is that I get the person out of the meeting after the meeting and have a one-to-one conversation. In one recent case, what resulted was a clarification of what I intended to do and how he rightly or wrongly has interpreted the impact on his team, his resources. He's someone who is more senior and thought steps ahead of me in terms of impact of a project. And through this conversation or consultation, trying to align where I am and where he is together, I then managed to draw him back to the whole team. It may not be to the extent of the coaching style where I can get people to reimagine a better future, but it is to get everyone on the same page so we can move on with the project. I do have a third style, which I prefer not to use. That is one of my rank 2 styles, the authoritative style. There are times, whether I like it or not, that I have to manage teams and stakeholders that simply do not know what to do. In such a case, there is no way I can engage a coaching style. Hey, why not imagine a better future? What are you talking about? Everything's in a mess. What better future? Unfortunately, in such a case, I would have to take charge. While respecting their expertise, I would still have to go ahead and say, hey, let's focus on this. Let's get this done by next week, so that when the director asks about our progress, we have something to say. And we can assure the director that the trust he gives to the team is here. Let's do a check-in every 2 days to make sure that things are progressing. Members and guests, as leaders, when dealing with different people, we can sense the melody, the music that's coming out of each and every of our team members. To be able to identify whether the particular instrument, the particular singer can do a bit better, whether it's a bit of misalignment that we can get misalignment together to move on, or whether we need to take a more direct approach because everybody seems to be a bit out of sync and not sure what to do. As conductors, as leaders and conductors, we need to sense where our fellow team members, our fellow musicians are. When we can appropriately guide them towards a whole symphony and orchestra, we can bring our team to create masterpieces in our business, in our work, and our service to our communities. Back to Toastmasters of the day, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you, Holmes. Leaders and conductors. Indeed, we guide the musicians or team members and all. Thank you so much. Now I'm moving on to our fourth speaker, Luciano Jehoa, and his evaluator is Nakawe Kosi. I know that Nakawe did mention she's having some technical issues, so hopefully our network stands up. Good to see you. Happy you are on, Nakawe. It worked out. How are you?
Greetings, Madam Toastmaster.
Greetings.
Opportunity.
Go ahead and
good.
tell
How are
us.
you?
Awesome. Good to hear. So go ahead and just let us know the objective of Luciano's speech. Luciano is smiling away from Angola.
Luciano will be sharing his speech under the Pathway Leadership Development Level 4, Project 3. The purpose of Luciano's project, it is for him to share his understanding of social media and its enhancement on the current presence that he's got or on the new social media presence. He will share with us his experience, his aspect on what he's gotten after enhancing the social media presence in his life. All the best, Luciano.
Thank you, Evaluator Nakawe. The title of Luciano's speech is Your Brand. Luciano, your brand. The virtual lectern is yours.
The way the world sees you determines the image they have about you. That happens before you even open your mouth to communicate. Can you see how powerful is that? Then how does one control that narrative of the world has about you? Because the world has an image about you before you even speak. Just by seeing you, they have an image of you and they put you in a box. Are you able to control the narrative where you decide what image the world has of you? Are you able to do that? One can utilize social media in order to build your presence, your brand. What's going to happen when you're in social media? And how do you build your brand? And how do you control the narrative the world has about you? Because, as I said, how the world sees you determines the image they have of you. In social media, how do you build your brand to make sure you control the narrative the world has about you? It's extremely important. How do you do that? There are 3 things that you have to do. First, you have to know what's your objective when you go to social media. What do you want to reach? What do you want to gain out of it? Be it in a professional or personal way, you need to know what do you want to get out of social media. Not only what you want to get out of it, but also what will you give? What value will you add to the social media that you're using? For instance, let's look at the professional. In a professional matter aspect, one can see one social media for you to use. A good example is LinkedIn. How can you control the narrative that people have about you in LinkedIn? Think about it. You might have a LinkedIn profile. How do you control the narrative when people talking about you in LinkedIn? They have a certain image, and that's the image that you want people to have of you in a professional arena. Because when you're asking for a job, you apply for a job, people will go into your LinkedIn and see your profile. And that will determine the image they have about you, about the job. What can you do? First of all, you decide which material are you going to share once you join the platform. Which material are you going to share? For instance, you might be an engineer, like me. When you go to LinkedIn, you decide, okay, I'm in LinkedIn, I'm going to share material that have to do with my area of expertise. I'm a process engineer, so I'll share information that has to do with process engineering, process safety. And then at the end of the day, you need to add value to other engineers who are in the same area, where they will look at your material, they'll talk about it, and they will have discussions about it, and you will add value to them by publicizing that information, sharing that information through the social media. That's one way for you to control the narrative about you. And then other thing you can do also, while you're in LinkedIn, which is a social media platform, you can also join groups that have to do with your area of expertise. What does that do? You become known by other groups, other individuals. Post regularly and comment on other individuals' posts. But everything you do has to add value. Share your experience or contribute, giving your point of view to that material. That's extremely important. By doing that in such a way, people in that social media platform will have a certain image about you because they'll know you add value to their careers by sharing good material, and you also contribute to their post. And when you become in a position where when you share something, people will start waiting for you to share so that they can have that material, study that material, and apply that at the workplace. That's extremely important. This is something that I did when I joined LinkedIn. I decided to build my social media presence in a professional platform. Why? Because you might be looking for a job tomorrow. And where the reference gonna come from? Other colleagues from your area of expertise, they can recommend you for a particular job. That's what happened to me. I share materials in LinkedIn according to my area of expertise. And there were jobs that were open in my area where people were referencing me saying, Luciano, you need to apply for this job. This will be good for you. But why is that? Because of the brand that I built. The narrative that people had about me, that helped them to reference me for job openings. That in such a way that I was able to control and all the information that I publicized and where I put that information, I was able to control the narrative that people had about me. And that enabled me to build my social media presence in a professional platform. That's extremely important. In the same way that I built my social media presence in a professional way, also you can also do that. I also did that in a personal way where I joined Instagram, and then I control all the material that I posted on Instagram, where I posted about sporting activities that I did, when I went riding, the medals that I won, and the cooking that I did. So when people interacted with me, they interacted about what I posted, which was about sport and about cooking, and materials that added value to individuals. So by doing that, I build my social media presence by controlling the narrative of people have about me. By doing in that way, you end up building your brand. Thank you very much. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Luciano. Indeed, the world does have an image of us and we can control the narrative. Great. Final speaker, Terrence Ware, who's joining us from Kenya. Hello, Terrence.
Hello, Nicole.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking. And I'd like to call on your evaluator, who is Zinga Jesse, please. Nice to have you. How are you?
Doing great. Enjoying
Excellent.
some warm breeze.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. All right. Thank you. Please go ahead and tell us the objective of Terrence's speech.
Sure. Terrence is completing his path, team collaboration from the legacy pathways. This is a level 5 project. Reflect on your path. The purpose of this project is for the member to reflect on their growth during the completion of an entire path. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspects of their growth during the completion of a path. Terrence also shared with me some of his personal objectives, which are use personal stories and descriptive language. He's also working on time management and consistent Zoom presence. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you for that detail, Zinga. Terrence's speech title is On the Shoulders of Giants. Terrence Ware, On the Shoulders of Giants. The virtual lectern is yours.
Have you ever frozen mid-sentence when given an opportunity to speak? If you have, then you have walked part of my journey. Toastmasters and distinguished guests, about 8 years ago, as a senior leader in an organization, I froze mid-sentence during a serious presentation. Thank God for the pre-meeting sessions because my colleague was able to take over the presentation. What does it mean for you to stand on the shoulders of giants? Herein comes my first lesson. Despite being the giant in that situation, I realized that giants also fall. Fast forward into a new decision. Ever since I stumbled as a leader in my organization, I decided to improve my leadership style and my communication style. Thus, I found myself in Toastmasters. The first thing I realized about Toastmasters was that it provides an environment where someone can grow as a leader, a place where you can make mistakes, get corrected in a manner that helps you grow, and continue surging forward. For me, I took my first step on the shoulders of giants by joining Toastmasters International. See, this is an organization that has been in existence for more than 100 years. As a Toastmaster, my first task was to become an active member of the club. I took on roles, I pursued different goals, and eventually a giant noticed me. Fast forward to the year 2021. Just 1 year after I had joined the club, I was challenged and given the ladder to move and step forward and take my leadership to the next level. How so, you might ask? I was requested to become the sergeant at arms at my club. For those who are not familiar with that role, that is the role that connects with each and every guest that enters a club, each and every role taker, each and every person that walks into your club. That was my first step on standing on the shoulders of giants. Next, while working as a sergeant at arms of my club, members realized that I had something worth growing the club. They saw the potential in me and they saw what that potential could do for my club. Come 2022, I was nominated for club president and I won with a landslide. Herein comes the next shoulder, being mentored by former club leaders, Toastmasters and guests. This is one of the hardest parts of a leader. Accepting critique or criticism from those who haven't necessarily walked the exact journey you have walked, following the path to success through working with people who haven't walked the same path you've walked, and finally, working with a new team. As club president, and through my path, I was challenged to create a team. This was the first time I had ever done this intentionally or with those goals in mind. And I worked with my predecessor and I was able to form a winning team, which led us to 10 DCP goals by the end of my tenure. Moving forward, as someone taking the team collaboration path, I wanted to get into legacy. What will I leave the club with? What will the club say when I'm gone? Herein comes the third challenge, if you're looking at it in terms of the club roles, where I stepped up to become a district leader. I wanted to become an area director, but God had other plans for me, because come 2023, I became the webmaster of my district, that is District 114. And I can also talk about District 86, but that is coming up. In that same year, I was mentored by so many leaders. I was mentored by DTMs, Distinguished Toastmasters, for those who are hearing that for the first time. And one of the key takeaways for me at that point was that even big leaders, those giants I was thinking about, those I was looking up to, they are humble enough to take feedback, and they're humble enough to accept when they're wrong and see where they can improve. And through that space, I was even challenged further to become the public relations manager of the district when the incumbent stepped down for personal reasons. Dear Toastmasters and guests, in 2024, I had the privilege of joining the top club worldwide, Leadership Speak. At this point, I was working on my legacy, looking at what mark will I leave in Toastmasters? What will I do about my leadership as a whole? I joined Leadership Speak simply because I wanted to improve I wanted to challenge myself to the next level of public relations. I had done it at district level. I had done it at club level to some extent, but I had never done it at a top club internationally. And this is where I currently stand. As I look back on my journey through team collaboration, there are three key lessons I can share with you. The first one, leadership is service. Throughout my journey, I initially thought that I was getting in to serve my interest and become a better speaker, a better leader, and the top leader in my organization. But when I began to lead, I realized that it goes beyond building myself alone. In the same breath, I challenged myself to become a mentor. Beyond that, to leave a legacy through mentoring others and helping others see the same path. And that leads to my second point, which is leadership, mentorship as a tool to grow as a leader. Throughout my journey, I have mentored various Toastmasters in different levels. For instance, as president, I was given a mentee in another club to lead or to guide. As public relations manager, I was able to lead a team which created 4 new leaders out of that team, or I created 4 new leaders out of that team, from which we got our public relations manager for the various divisions that we have. And the third and final lesson that I would like to share with you is that it's only in teams that we find great leadership. Have you ever thought of this? What if Messi was playing in a mediocre team or in a team that doesn't meet his standards? Would he still be the greatest of all time? I pose to you that he wouldn't have been, or he wouldn't be. For you to win and to become the greatest of all time, you need to have a star team. You need to have a team of stars. There is a star in a team, but then there is a team of stars. If you look at the team where I'm talking about, for instance, Messi, His team members need to know his style of playing. In this case, for you as a Toastmaster, what is your leadership style? They need to know how they collaborate with him. For you, what is that one area that you invite others to collaborate with you? And finally, what impact do you want to leave in your team? With that in mind, you're able to form a team of stars, not a star in a team. And finally, when I look at my journey as someone who has taken the team collaboration path, I implore each and every one of us to look at your individual journey, to look at your leadership journey, and see where collaboration would have made it even more effective. Are there points where you realize that working alone was detrimental to your journey? What are you doing about it? Are you going to sit back and wait for the next results? Or are you going to create the results that you wish for? As I conclude my path and this speech, I call upon each and every leader in this meeting to collaborate, because collaboration is what gets us on the shoulders of giants. And when you get that chance to sit on the shoulders, to stand on the shoulders, or whatever you do on the shoulders of giants, make sure you reach down to pull those who want to come to your shoulders. Toastmaster of the day.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Terrence. Amazing. Leadership is service, indeed. Mentoring and team cohesiveness. I agree totally. We have a number of guests with us. You have heard great speeches. And you have, okay, the best speaker poll has been launched. If you could go ahead and vote for the best speaker, please do so. And I'll continue after. There it is. Please go ahead and vote, as well as feel free to share your feedback with the speaker in our chat box. So, dear guest, our guest book is placed now by Irene. Thank you in the chat. Please go ahead and sign the guest book. You have an idea of how we perform, our consistency and discipline, what it looks like. Thank you for launching the poll, Zoom Master. Let me go ahead and get this out. And thank you for posting the time in the chat timer, our timer, Miko. Great. I'm moving on to our next segment of our meeting, our evaluation. I would like to call on our evaluator, Guerdah Shah. Guerdah? How are you, and how is it in the United States of America? My neighbor. You are muted, I think. Oh, no, you're not muted. Go ahead and speak. Okay, I think it's a network. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead now.
Okay. In Houston, which is the southern border of the US, and the weather is beautiful.
Okay. Okay, I hand over to you, and for the evaluation section of our meeting. Sounds like you're having a little network issue. Sounds a bit choppy, but we should survive.
You can just check this. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start, and hopefully you can hear me. Great leaders do not waste power motivations. They know for intention. That's what our leaders and leaders speak. Leadership speak here, wrote, or attached with blue flyer. Yes, we do. We consistently practice and we are disciplined all the time. We're consistent for practice to build the habit of leadership. It's my pleasure today to be the general evaluator for this meeting, self-discipline, leadership. And I will start my evaluation or the evaluation calling for the critical thinker evaluator feedback of the speakers with their speeches. I will start with Toastmaster Irene Sadia, who will evaluate the toast. Irene, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Hello, everyone, and especially Nelly. Nelly, your introduction to your speech was spot on. You very clearly let us know what you are going to speak about, and it was in line, it was aligned, it was consistent with the meeting theme. You excelled at that. What else did you excel at? Because your introduction was effective, it was easy to segue into the body and, of course, the conclusion of your speech or of your toast. You used a personal story, your personal story. That makes it easy for us to relate, makes it easy for us to follow. What else did you excel at, Nelly? You used quotes, particularly the quote by John Rowan, where he said that self-discipline is the foundation of all success. It kept following through with the theme of this meeting. You also stood up, which helped to accentuate your speech. What could you have done better, Nelly? What I noticed was you placed your lap something like this. So it was not at eye level. And then it looked like you were looking down. That seemed to take away from your speech. So I would challenge you, Nelly, to ensure that your camera is at eye level. So then you're able to connect better with us. We enjoyed your story. We enjoyed your toast. And you used very good quotes. You used a personal story. Your introduction was effective. But if you would make sure that your camera is at eye level, that will even be a better connection with the audience. Thank you very much, Nelly. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you for this great evaluation. And I'd like to commend Nelly for her leadership as well, when she called back the Toastmaster of the day to have the stage so she could finish her toast. Great leadership. Now for the second evaluator, Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas. She will be evaluating our leader for this meeting, our Toastmaster of the day, Nicole Whyte. The stage is yours. Oh, I can't hear.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Toastmaster of the Day, Nicole Whyte. What a delight it was listening and watching you lead the meeting today. At Leadership Speak, we always say every meeting is like an open house. And today, your energy, your poise, the way you came through with clarity reflected the theme so clearly. You welcomed the guests with warmth. You made sure that they sign up the book and kept asking throughout without being overbearing. You mentioned self-disciplined leadership right at the start. And for me, I think you remember the critical thinking part of the audience's silent voice saying, what's in it for me? Why am I here? And I think that clearly answered it. And that was a big take. What I liked really more to that was the warmth, the clarity, the way you opened. It was very theme integrated. You were right there. And I think you were ready 3 weeks ago when I first spoke to you. You were all set, and that shows engagement and commitment consistently. I loved the quotes and the rich content you brought in about different authors. You brought in about Stephen Covey, and you spoke about credibility and consistency. I loved what you said, mercy of every passing mood, values and principles. It was amazing. Consistency and rapport that you built with every member about the flag of Switzerland. Oh boy, that was interesting. I really liked that. You were prepared, you were sensitive when the grammarian didn't have the word of the day. And that is a sign of a true leader and the Toastmaster of the day who can be soft, empathetic, and yet firm in whatever you're doing. Your preparedness was very relevant. You were right there, and you took us through some very important points like the SOP, which is not what we always talk about. And I was waiting to write down. With all these 3 things being said, that's my observation and a request for you to consider. You had such rich content to share with all of us with warmth. I wish you had slowed down a wee bit where we could process the information. You spoke about how you got into the extraordinaire, where you brought in about our club itself. Overall, that is one suggestion. So in summary, Nicole Whyte, Toastmaster of the Day, you were thorough in your role, you stood strong, you were prepared, your presence was right there, and you were clear, showed a lot of rapport. For me, you were truly self-disciplined to do whatever you were. So keep shining bright and yellow like you've come in today. You truly exhibited the extraordinariness of what Leadership Speaks stands for. Thank you. Indeed delighted. Over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you for the wonderful evaluation, Jyoti. And I would like to add that being a Toastmaster of the Day for 2 or 3 hours in a meeting takes consistent discipline and preparation, many more hours in between, 2 weeks prior to our meeting. And Nicole, you did an excellent job, excellent leadership in preparing, connecting with every role player to have this complete and perfect meeting today. Our third evaluator is Vinod Panicker. He will be evaluating our educational speaker. Vinod, the stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Alfin, the title, topic, message, and the theme were in complete sync today. The self-disciplined leadership, the title, the topic of your speech, your personal stories, how discipline help you to succeed. The message of the entire speech is to be disciplined. And of course, the theme. What I liked or what came as effective in you as a speaker is your screen presence. The entire 20 minutes you spoke, you had my attention. I didn't feel like even if you had spoken for 20 more minutes, I would be with you, even if I was not your evaluator. So you have a good screen presence. The second thing which I like about your speech was the structure. I think in the last meeting, Ray had mentioned about this. What you did was tell them what you are going to tell them that you told them, and you use the exact framework. You were very clear in the beginning that this is what I am going to speak about, my story of like what you say, badminton, this, physics, and leadership, and then you spoke about it, and at the end you again summarized it. So now we are never going to forget that you are a badminton player, you have won a physics Olympiad, and you don't know what to eat for lunch. So I'm saying, like you, like what is it, Alfin, I'm completely with you. Now, the third thing that I like about your speech is not what you did, it's what you not did, what you did not do. Success is not only about what you do, it is about how you choose or what you choose not to do. And I really congratulate you that you didn't use a single PowerPoint slide. Because when you are speaking for 20 minutes, learning to speak, to be a professional speaker, every second, try to use your own word. Don't show any slide. That is what I tell to all the speakers. And I was so happy that you did not use a single slide. Now, what could have gone well or what I felt can be improved? First is, being an online meeting, the Zoom presence, a plain background would have been more effective. Now, we all like to show the badge of honor that we have members from so many countries, and we really are proud of our ExCom for doing all the great work. But when it is your time, it is your time, right? Let the screen be plain and let us focus on your beautiful face and that moments. Okay. The second most important thing is you told me to focus on the story. So I will take a little bit more time on the story. Michael Haig, one of a famous director, says that the purpose of any story is to elicit emotions. Now, if I sit and draw a graph of how your speech started and ended, right? Again, Nancy Durrett, one of the person who has given a TED talk and analyzed all the greatest speeches in the world. She says there is a graph for all the stories. It goes up, down, up, down. Yours was just, it went up, little down. So you were mainly reporting to us what has happened to you in the past. Badminton is a very important sport in Indonesia, just like cricket and ice hockey in Canada. You spoke as if you're speaking to your own club, right? So you could have made that importance, that how important is playing badminton or something like that. Remove all the fluffs, opening thank you, and at the end thank you, all those things are not needed. So to summarize, I see a great, powerful speaker in you who can add humor. If you jog your memory a little bit and describe characters in your story, I don't know whether you would be able to decide what to eat for lunch, but if you practice daily, you would be an amazing storyteller. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, or the general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinod, for this wonderful, complete evaluation. I would like to add to Alfin, pidato yang sangat baik. Excellent. Very good speech. Our next evaluator is Sandra Falk, and she will be evaluating Toastmaster Guerdah. The stage is yours.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be evaluating you, Guerdah. And I know that your consistency does show through. Your energy today, I'm going to talk about that throughout, because you certainly brought it home, and maybe sometimes a little bit much. But I love you just came right in. Some years ago, and then you sang the song. You were right in there in a huge grin, and that was good. Now, when it came to the benefits of Excel, you had, oh, you can add, you can subtract, you can add colors. That might have been a way to do some of the phrasing. And formulas, yay! And then, ooh, you had beautiful transitions. Take time with them. Just enjoy them yourself as well. Ah, Excel, beautiful words, exciting words. and then into a frozen grin because you were really grinning. So instead of grinning and talking all the time, or so much of the time as you'll see in your replay, you might have wanted just to freeze it, because we know the difference between that real grin and the frozen grin. Proficient at Excel. So that's a fun one. Your face is so full of expression. You can really use your face, and it's a lovely skill to develop. And when you went and shriveled down, there was no question that you were telling yourself inside just how constricted it was, how you were feeling like, I'm not good at proficiency. I don't have proficiency. Oh man. And that just demonstrated, take your time with that, because these are the goodies that we need to learn for ourselves. So this is a time to give to the audience. So as you watch your replay, you'll see that the grinning was sometimes just too much all the time. You can play with it a little bit more. You covered over your little stumble very confidently, just carried right on. Here I have, again, relax into the fun of your own story. You are a wonderful storyteller. And it's even better storytelling when you are enjoying being the storyteller as well. So less performance and more just being in the joy of telling your story. And that's going to bring the magic of your facial expressions, your body gestures, all to be congruent in that joy. Wow, I am not good at Excel, conflicted. I kind of covered that. It really got to how we attack ourselves. I want to just move to the closing. You recognized how you have excelled, and that was a celebration. Now, just to the ending, think about your audience, because that's why we speak. Your audience needed that final clear call to action. Never, never, never give up. Celebrate it, and you too can excel. So that type of thing, bringing it back to the Excel. It was wonderful. Thank you so much, and back to you, GE.
Thank you, Sarah, for this wonderful evaluation. Our next evaluator is Elena Constantinou. I would like to pronounce your last name correct. And you will be evaluating Toastmaster Holmes. The stage is yours.
As I step into this field today of self-directed leadership training, I feel the rush of adrenaline that Marie was talking about. Do you? Now, this audience has been very fortunate to attend such a useful presentation with 3 very crucial takeaways. Know your values, speak your needs, and recognize everyone else's values. I particularly loved how consistent the speech title was with the meeting theme, and how Marie managed to weave in all these self-directed leadership tips into her speech. Now, she said clarity is the fuel of self-directedness, and I feel blessed with a lot of fuel today because I got clarity from Marie on 3 important areas. First, there was a structure and organization in the speech and a consistency in all the 3 topics that were analyzed. We heard about the what, the why, the how, and we even got examples of what not to do. Secondly, I really enjoyed Marie's open body language because she had a clear and expressive body language, along with a consistent pace. Thirdly, I loved her usage of vocabulary and certain phrases. And I have to admit that she chose the words very smartly and pronounced them very correctly. And I have to say that to really own the art of elocution, I propose that in the vocal variety, you make use of speed, variations in speed, and maybe some dramatic pauses. Another recommendation I would make is to use the space in all its length and depth and width, of the Zoom window. And really, I would love for our speaker to give us a quote in French so that we could really savor and taste and feel and smell this beautiful French accent that she has. Another recommendation I would like to make in terms of content was to explain a little bit more the Speedsoft game and its rules. Now, I use laser tag in my training of students at the university for negotiations and entrepreneurship. So I align with how consistent this game is with leadership. But I would have enjoyed a little bit more examples of the quick thinking required and the precision, or maybe an example that Speedsoft is exhausting, and then sometimes when you find yourself on the ground and you're exhausted and you can't pick up, leadership comes when you actually pick yourself up to help the person next to you, and that's leadership. Overall, your strengths of open body language, structure, consistency, and usage of vocabulary really will help you leverage and get to the level of content and vocal variety that I know you have. I really thank you for your clear and memorable takeaway, which is, and as I step out of my field today, I will use the quote, "What lifts us higher will help me lift everyone else I lead." Thank you.
Thank you for this empowering evaluation, Elena. And you evaluated Marie Cusin. I said it wrong. I said Holmes, but you did evaluate Marie Cusin. Thank you. Our next evaluator is Hannah Schmidt, and she will be now evaluating Holmes' speech. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator Holmes. What's in it for me? And what's in it for the audience? That question. Thank you very much for that great and powerful metaphor comparing conducting a masterpiece and your leadership within Toastmasters and your career. Comparing the different instruments of the orchestra to leadership within Toastmasters. Encouraging or explaining, your different style of communication, starting from coaching, you said your favorite, to affiliated and then authoritative, visualizing your style. Leading your masterpiece, orchestrating something greater than yourself. And that's precisely what leadership is in Toastmasters, what it embodies in Toastmasters. You mentioned this extremely well, or demonstrated it extremely well. You explained your 3 different favorite leadership styles very clearly, providing an example of each and illustrating how they affected your career outside and in Toastmasters. Like a conductor who orchestrates the symphony without touching any instrument. You, as a Toastmaster leader, informed us to craft a remarkable journey of growth, confidence, and connection. As a self-disciplined leader, you know when to shift from coaching and, if the need arises, to an affiliative, and then your least preferred one be sometimes necessary, the authoritative. You challenge us, or I challenge you to a little higher level. You had good pauses in your speech. However, I encourage you to pause a little bit more when transitioning from your various leadership styles. Your screen was occasionally very erratic, which was somewhat distracting. Encourage the audience to recognize that growth is the objective, not a perfection. Your powerful conclusion ties back to the opening. Through your self-disciplined leadership, you discovered that authoritative leadership style and know how to take charge when necessary. That is how progress promotes reflection and resilience. Thank you for allowing me to showcase my masterpiece with your excellent vocal variety, body language, and hand gestures. That is what in it for me. Sense the melody of the orchestra and the mood of your fellow Toastmasters. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you for the brilliant evaluation, Hannah. Thank you. I hope our guests are putting their feedback for all the evaluators because we grow on your feedback. Our next evaluator is Nakawi. Nakawi will be evaluating Luciano. The stage is yours, Nakawi. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Hello, can everybody
Thank you,
hear
Madam
me?
Evaluator.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Nakawi, the
Thank you,
stage is yours.
Evaluator. Luciano, you have excelled. Can you hear me now? Hello.
I can hear you. You're cutting off, but we can hear you now. Just continue speaking, please.
Okay, thank you, Madam Evaluator. Luciano, you have effectively achieved the purpose of your project. You were able to share with us what was required and you've excelled in that. The structure of your speech was well crafted. It was consistent with your title and well delivered. In terms of the evidence that you've used, it was exceptionally in line with your speech title and the purpose of your speech. So well done in that. Your engagement with the audience was done very well in the beginning. You've asked, but it was a lot of questions. So what I want to like to challenge you on is that just ask one question to the audience, give them time to think about what you've asked, and then when you on the other points. You have effectively used the power of 3 in your speech. And again, the other thing that I would want to challenge you on is to be conscious on the conclusion of your project. This speech was well effective. It's something that is not strong to easily move your audience. Meanwhile, you have delivered a well-crafted speech. In terms of your delivery skills, your Zoom presence was excellent. Your voice projection was clear. Your confidence level, your eye contact, just a little bit you were too close to the top part of your screen. But other than that, your hand gestures, your body movement, it was well used. In summary, the takeaway message was easy for everyone because you've highlighted the importance of using social media and you made it sure that we understand that as much as it is important, it needs to be purposefully done. You just do not wake up and decide to do it. You effectively shared the message clear. You were effective in delivering your speech. Just work on your connection with the audience, give them enough pauses, and your delivery skills were in line with your speech purpose and your speech title. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you for this evaluation, Nicole, and for all the speakers, you will get written evaluation from your evaluators. I know Nicole maybe wasn't clear in the beginning because the audio was cut off, but Luciano, you will get your complete written evaluation by your evaluator. The next evaluator is Zinga Jessie, and she will be evaluating Terrence. The stage is yours.
Hello. A team of stars is more impactful than a star in a team. Very effective way, Terrence, to share with us your thoughts about your path, team collaboration. You met your objective of using personal stories while sharing with us your journey as a Toastmaster leader from Sergeant at Arms, Club President, and District Leader before joining Leadership Speak, seeking further growth. You also managed time effectively by delivering a well-constructed speech within the allotted time. The opening question called to the audience attention, and you took us through some examples of your experience as a leader, also sharing 3 lessons of what you learned. Leadership is service, mentoring, and about how teams should work together. Although I appreciated that you didn't take us through all the details of your path, I consider that it would make sense to include in a bit more detail some of our aspects of it. Towards the end, you touch about understanding your leadership style, your communication style. I invite you to consider including that in your speech to help us understand how you grew through your path completion, in particular to team collaboration, because you focus on being mentored and not as much as a mentor. When you said, when you're standing on the shoulders of giants, also pull up others, collaborate with others. Maybe you have some interesting stories to share that. I wish you brought that up. In summary, great statement regarding team collaboration. Work on bringing us some more personal stories, and why not descriptive language. Take us into your world, your experience of freezing in a meeting, maybe non-descriptive, descriptive language. I froze. I was feeling the weight of a giant elephant on my shoulders as my colleagues stepped in. That would bring us more into the story you were telling us. Congratulations for completing your path, Terrence. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Zinga, for the brilliant evaluation. And this will take us to the end of the prepared speeches evaluation. Our next segment is to call up the timer to please put the time of all the speakers on the chat box. And we do have the poll for best effort evaluator encourage everybody along with our guests, I suppose. I think they could see it to submit their choice. And I had to submit my poll as well. And now I would like to call on the grammarian to give us her report. And our grammarian is Alrini. Alrini, the stage is all yours to give us your report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. It was a pleasure being present in that meeting where the uses of the language has been excellent. So, without further ado, let's go dive into the uses of the word of the day, consistent, and all the adjectives and derivatives of this word. So, Toastmaster of the day, Nicole, has achieved to use it more than 5 times. However, also Sanisia in the intro, and Sandra, and Gilda, and Jody, and Elena, and many other speakers today have managed to use it more than 3 times. So congratulations for that. Some room for improvement, even though the uses of the language has been excellent. So I have only one suggestion to our fellow Toastmasters and guests. So Alfin, during his speech, he said a lot of money, and an alternative expression would be plenty of money, or I experienced the abundance of wealth, or other alternative. And one general comment in the uses of the language would be try to avoid negative words. I heard a lot of no, pain, and never, and think words that have a negative meaning. So try to rephrase and use positive words instead of that. Some syntax errors, our speakers have managed to correct it right on time. And what captivated me most, a few phrases, like I was captivated, I was anchored, I had the audacity, and Guerdah used an expression expanding and contracting. So that way she gave a very good comparison. Terrence used the phrase I employed, and also other speakers excelled, and many other phrases. Just to highlight that Hannah introduced the word resilience. Thank you, Hannah. And Elena tried to waken up our sensations because he used words like as we step into this field, and savor, feel, smell. So even though we are a virtual meeting, we managed to wake up our senses again. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Irene, for this complete grammarian report and detailed one. Dear guests and visitors, you witnessed another perfect meeting of Leadership Speak. We come to our meetings prepared. We practice between meetings. We come up to here to present our best performance possible. And that's what we do in our Leadership Speak. We started with the greeter who greeted everybody, joined the Zoom meeting, introduced the Toastmaster of the day, No, the greeter introduced everybody and welcomed everybody, and then comes the sergeant at arms with much enthusiasm, read the protocols and the mission of Toastmasters and our club, introduced the Toastmaster of the day, who led this meeting in a very smooth and brilliant manner, not only inside the meeting today, but prior to the meeting, as we all leaders and this club witnessed. The speakers did brilliant job and beautiful messages they sent, and I hope all the guests, all the visitors enjoyed listening to all these speeches. Our evaluators, with their critical thinking, feedback, and supportive, empowered all the speakers to do better for the next time even. One thing I would like to mention to all the evaluators and the speakers, to watch for the time. It's a waste to stand on a stage of contest and deliver beautiful speech, a winning speech, or a winning evaluation when you get disqualified on time. The timer and the grammarian did excellent job. Thank you, grammarian, for all the outstanding phrases you reminded us with. I would like to repeat what our education speaker said. Self-discipline leadership made me master my goal. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Thank you for your excellent management of this section of our meeting, Guerdah. All feedback noted. All right, so I would like to move on to our next item on our agenda, as we have our thought of the day. Atul Sankar will share in the thought on the theme of the day. Atul.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Nicole.
Of course. How are you today, and how is Tanzania going? Joining us?
Yeah, Tanzania is good. It's hot.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's sunny
All right.
today.
Keep cool.
Thank you.
The virtual lectern is yours.
Yeah. Self-discipline leadership. As our Toastmaster of the day, Nicole Whyte, said, what is self-discipline leadership? Is the consistency versus the comfort. Self-discipline is the pinnacle of success. And she mentioned Stephen R. Covey, great book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Self-discipline leadership is with self-directed leadership will really help us to reach wherever we want, is what I feel. And consistency is the key to self-discipline leadership. And as my education speaker, Alfin Abrar, spoke his great life lessons, from bully to great success, from bully to be a great coach, and how he reached success. And he has mentioned, not stopping there, pain, more the pain, later became the coach. From he went to school, he was inspired by his great friend Yoga and became the smartest student. And with his self-discipline, he became the master of physics coach. With his self-discipline leadership, he became a successful vice president education, a president of his club, which is President's Distinguished Club. Self-discipline is the key to success. And how he charted 3 clubs, being the division director. You can clearly know how self-discipline leadership is. And my view on this is self-disciplined leadership is the foundation of sustainable success. Self-disciplined leadership is not about control over others. It's about mastery of oneself. It is the ability to stay focused, make tough decisions, and consistency align actions with long-term goals, regardless of temptations, distractions, or emotion impulses. In a world of distractions and quick wins, self-disciplined leadership is a quiet, powerful force. It is the difference between noise and impact, between burnout and balance, between mediocrity and greatness. So, friends, let us follow the self-disciplined leadership to reach our success consistently. Thank you. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Atul, for sharing your thought. Keen listening skills as you shared your takeaways. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. So I'm happy to say, well, before I do that, we're winding down, but our guests, how are you feeling? Irene, can you post the link to the guest book final time for this meeting? We have, I would say, round about 10 guests with us and a few returning guests. So please go ahead, Irene, and share that guest book. You have heard the thought, get the thought of the day, the thought of our theme guests. Please go ahead this final time, if you haven't yet, and add your information in the guest book. In a very few minutes from now, you will hear from our president where we will interact. All right. So I would love to have some drum roll for our best effort speaker and speakers and evaluators. Drum roll. Atul, could you please share the best effort speakers for our guests and members? Thank you so much. While the certificates are loading, I can tell you that, oh, here they are. So drum roll and applause for Terrence Ware, and our second best effort speaker is, drum roll, DTM Guerdah Felix. Send her some encouragement. Send them, please. And Terrence, thank you so much, Atul. And we move on to our best effort as we take all of that in and applaud our best speakers. Congratulations. Yes, send them on, send them on. Let's move over and gear up for our best effort evaluators. Yes, I know the results. We have more than one. Let's go with the certificate for our best award for best effort evaluators. In the interim, let me name them. We have Elena, Vinod, and Hannah. 3, the hard way. Come on now, send them up some praises. While Atul works on the certificate, there they are. Such an efficient and self-disciplined team. I'm so proud to be here. Good job, everyone. Congratulations again. Thank you so much, Atul. Thank you all for all our guests that attended, or returning guests, members, and role players for making today's meeting such a success. Your presence, energy, and contributions brought our theme of self-disciplined leadership to life. Special thanks to our speakers who impactfully and powerfully wove the theme into their messages, showing us what self-directed leadership truly looks like in action. At Leadership Speak, we don't talk about leadership, we live it. Let's carry that spirit with us until we meet again next week. But I'm not going anywhere yet, because I now call our president, Bram Mamon, to speak to our guests.
Thank you, Nicole. We have quite a number of guests here, and a number of them have actually signed into the guest book, and we will be contacting them. We have somebody very interesting from District 60, and they have signed in as a DTM Club Coach, Art Advanced Royal Toastmasters Club. Very interesting title. We don't know the name of this person.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and this person, if you can put on your video so that I know who you are. I did ask you that name in the chat. Perhaps you didn't pick it up. Are you there, Club Coach Art Advanced Royal Toastmasters? I can see you put a heart in there. So, hello? All right, so I think they have left us a message here at the bottom. All right, so they are asking when the recording will the recording stops after when the meeting ends. The meeting hasn't ended yet. We will okay, we'll go on to the next guest. It looks like they may have a problem with whatever's going on, but they left me a message saying when the recording stopped. Our next guest is, I don't know if he's still here, Alf Rostovsky from South Africa. Art, are you there? Sorry, Alf Rostovsky. He's gone. He's not there. Okay. Alice Fan.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Alice.
I am from Vietnam and my name is Huong, but my English name is Alice. I'm not the Toastmaster. I'm not the Toastmaster before, but today I suddenly come across the information about this club on Facebook, and I'm thrilled to know about it and listen to a lot of wonderful speeches today. I'm glad to meet you.
Thank you, Alice. And since you're not a Toastmaster, of course, you cannot join this club, but I would recommend a community club where you are in Vietnam near you. And I have spoken to several clubs in Vietnam a while back. So I'm sure you'll be able to find that in Toastmasters International website. But thank you for coming here, and it's a pleasure to have you. All right, thank you. We have Sheila Naim. Are you there, Sheila? I spoke to her earlier. She said hello.
Yes. Hello, yes, I'm here.
Put on your video so that we can spotlight you. There you go. Hi, Sheila. Sheila is, by the way, from Discovery Toastmasters, which is in District 60. And I meet her on a regular basis on Sundays whenever I visit her club. Introduce yourself, Sheila.
Okay, my name is Shehla Naeem and I am currently Toastmaster member of Discovery Toastmaster. And I am very passionate about the public speaking. And Baram, I see you so many times. I'm very impressed from you. And I feel that I need more practice with under the shadow of an experienced person, which you are. Help me, and I have planned to join your club. That's why. And then my member Angela, she told me to join your club because you will get so many things for practice because your club has so many members, and I enjoyed a lot of so many speeches from different countries, and then most I like the evaluation. Because I am little bit weak when I evaluate someone, I am little bit weak, and I got so many experience from your evaluation session, and I hope I will join you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Much appreciated. And yeah, we will get in touch with you at very soon. And I think with that, we may have gone through all the guests that we need to go through. We have somebody in the listen mode, Susan Vineta. She says she's in the listening mode. And then let me just see who else is here. Well, Tony isn't a guest, but he just appeared from somewhere. Tony, good to have you. Okay, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, some of our guests are normal, like Shashini Stone. We know we've spoken to her before. Shashini, so good to have you. Just a quick question to Shashini. Have you become a member in your community club?
I am in the final stages of being accepted as a member, as a returning member to my community club.
So pretty soon, by July, you'll be a member of Leadership Speak, I believe, huh?
All being well, I should think so.
Wonderful. Looking forward to it. And thanks to Nicole for introducing you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think just a quick look and see what is or isn't there. Madam Toastmaster, I pass the lectern back to you.
Thank you, President Brown. I appreciate your engagement with our guests and wrapping up. As we come to a close, I would say I will call this curtains closed. I am now officially adjourning this meeting. Zoom master, please stop the recording.